Welcome to Take Two. We are at Oracle Park. I think a lot of people still get confused. It used to be called Pacific Ballpark, and then it was called SPC Park, then it was called AT&T Park.
Yeah.
But whatever you know it, it's now Oracle Park. Our crew around us is moving the lights and stuff because we're on the promenade.
Yeah.
So they're going to open up the ballpark, Andre, at 10:30.
10:30,
and people are going to be walking by.
Yeah. So we'll have to be out of here by then.
Right.
And that means all of the cables and cameras and lights and everything that goes along with the production.
Let's see. Hold on for a second. Do I
what
feel
are you
better
doing
standing up? No, maybe not.
Yeah.
It's Take Two. I can do whatever I want, right?
Yeah. I remember when I first came to San Francisco. This was back in 2003. And I drove past Pacific Bell Park. I remember that it was blue and white sign, right? That was out in front of the building when I drove by. It's my first time ever in the city. It was beautiful. It was stunning.
It's nice.
And
Nice.
I'd rarely left Florida before that. And of course, I made the same mistake that everyone did back then. Was when I drove down the Embarcadero, I looked up and I was like, "Is that the Golden Gate Bridge? Why does it look silver?"
Right. right.
And then I later found out,
Come a long way since
I have. But a lot of friends who've never been here that come to visit me here in the Bay Area, they think the same thing. They're like, "Is that the Golden Gate Bridge?" I'm like, "No, it's not."
It looks similar.
Yeah.
I can see that.
By the way, this is new. The Coke bottle. They made a change to that. They took away the static Coca-Cola sign. You see what they did there? The new LED sign.
Right.
So they can change it, and that's what they'll be doing throughout the game now. New LEDs there. It's just one of the many changes that were made.
This
here.
place always keeps changing. I think they keep adding more places to eat.
Mm-hmm.
They have, at one point there was a garden back there. Now it's like a better bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
So if you came and they dropped you in here, like if you came from the year 2000 and you were in a time machine and you went back, you would see the scoreboard is way more electronic. It's way more high tech than it used to be.
Yeah, well, 25 years ago,
but
technology was completely different.
you know how technology changes?
Yeah.
They keep changing it. They keep
up to date with it, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
they keep up with the latest
that
technology.
they have to do it all the time.
Yeah, well, at least it's for the fans. We were talking with Larry Baer just earlier, and he says fans, they come here regularly every year, and they wanted a new and different experience. And so it was interesting to hear the head of the team talking about really doing more to engage with the fans and doing more to show and the appreciation. So something they have a new experience every time they come here to watch the team, not just what they see on the field, but what they experience off the field as well.
Right.
So much so that even the concession areas and the bathroom areas are updated to reduce wait times.
Well, it's funny because when I was a season ticket holder, when I lived in San Francisco, I moved to the East Bay for KTVU for my job, so that's when I gave up the seats. But when I came here as just me, a baseball fan, Andre, I didn't really care so much about the food or the Coke bottle. When I brought my kids, it was a completely different story.
Tell me about that. I wonder.
So I came, I would sit in my seat. I had some pretty good seats. I'd watch the game. I'd talk to people around me about, this pitcher, that, blah, blah, blah. Standard operating procedure. Got married, brought the kids. The kids, they don't have a long attention span.
Yeah.
Right? So then it's when the other area of the park, you can walk all the way around. You can take a lap, so to speak. You can come to the Coke bottle. You have like a little area here where the kids can play. There's ice cream. So for families, especially for kids who may not be able to watch the whole game, they really have made
there are
a
things
family
here.
area.
There are things here to keep them busy as well.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Because they can't always stay strapped in the seats, especially when they're very young and
you realize that now I know what they're thinking.
Yeah,
right. So they have it for everybody.
Yeah. They make it comfortable for everyone. Here's just an interesting stat here. 2025 Giants season, 143rd for the franchise with Major League, 68th year in San Francisco, and as we said, 25 years here at Oracle. And it is really a beautiful park when you come to it. It's a classic park, and it was set to be one of the best ballparks ever built when it was completed back in 2000. And Larry Baer had a lot to do with that. A lot of the things that are happening here. So it is a kind of a classical. I don't know if you've been to Wrigley Field.
I have been,
which is not as new, and it doesn't have
Wrigley
that,
Field's pretty old.
It's old, and they even have nets to catch the concrete that may be falling from the top. If you've been to a baseball game there, it's pretty interesting. But this is a newer, updated feel to it, and they constantly are making new and updated measures here for the fans.
You know the mistake that I think that they made, because I took a little tour of ballparks around the country, and AT&T or Oracle Park got this right. The angle that they have is
it's
perfect.
A beautiful angle,
right?
Yeah.
It's a nice angle.
From down there, from like down, the closer you get, you still have a good angle, and even up.
Some of the new ballparks that they've made, the angle is a little too steep.
Yeah.
Right? And so whoever designed this park, and I should know, I don't know offhand, kept the same visual lines, the same angles. So when you come, it is still known as one of the best ballparks in the country, right? For one of the best ballparks to watch baseball.
Yeah. Because
even though it's a modern park, they kept the same familiar angles as they had in Wrigley, as they had in some of the other, what am I thinking about? The green monster. What am I? Fenway. Thank you.
Fenway.
Thank you. The Green Monster, it's all I think about. Fenway. So you have the same angles. I've been to those parks. This is a great ballpark, right? And at first I thought, okay, I'm being a homer.
Yeah.
Because it's the Giants. I grew up in San Francisco. But then if you go online and you read the rankings, this one always comes out really nearly on top, if not on top.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. When you come in here, you really do feel it, and it does have a different feeling than most other ballparks around the country as well. What's been interesting is what's been happening in the offseason with the Giants, with Buster Posey coming in as the head of operations, some of the moves he's made earlier on. I know those are things that have been making you pretty excited as well.
I would say that Buster Posey, when I found out that Farhan Zaidi was out, I think a lot of Giants fans were saying, finally, because some of the things were, like, Sam's laughing over there. Sam, you can join us whenever.
Yeah, you can come on in.
So, look, I think the idea of Farhan Zaidi was a good one at first. And back me up on this, Sammy. When we started with Farhan Zaidi, because Farhan had engineered the Dodgers. Remember?
Correct. Well, yeah.
Real quick, Sammy is our assignment editor. He also produced this show. He was in the back listening, so we wanted to get his thoughts on it. Sammy, talk to us.
Yeah, we were ready for something new. Analytics was the hot ticket item, right? It was the buzzword of the day. Farhan was kind of the guy that mastermind, if you will, the behind the scenes of all the analytics stuff in the building of the Dodgers. So you were excited about it. You gave it a try. It didn't. It didn't work, and and then you get Buster in, and Buster just has all those nostalgic, good feels, and is just such a good guy. And you're just chatting with people around the park today, and you're like, there's just a vibe. There's a vibe around the team. It feels like they're on to something. He was part of 3 World Series teams, right? And he's a smart guy, so he saw how it was done. So he is basically just going back to that. And, he's probably unbridled the manager from doing all this analytical lineup stacking, changing pitchers, changing hitters because of what pitcher they're going to face, all that stuff. It's like John Shea was talking about it with you guys this morning, right? He's like, it's not just the analytics, it's the body language and the how you work in the clubhouse and all this stuff, right? And Buster, I think what Buster brings is the marriage of both worlds, right? Like, he takes the analytics and the data and he sees value in that and uses that, but he also has that intangible, just that second nature to sense and understand, right? This is why his pitchers loved him, right? He knew how to work them. He knew how to get the best out of them on a daily basis, no matter what the case may be. And so now he's just doing that with the whole organization.
So I'm hearing the analytics, too much of analytics can cause you to fall too much back on the numbers, which, by the way, wasn't Moneyball based on our neighbors across the bay right here when these analytics started? Yeah, now the team in Sacramento, the Athletics, no longer our team. But it's interesting that as I was listening to you talk about the analytics of things and remembering the movie Moneyball, understanding how the Oakland A's, were at the forefront of analytics for baseball and how it has worked, but leaning too much into it could potentially be a problem, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, baseball's an interesting one, right? I feel like analytics have more power, more sway in baseball than they do in football or basketball or any other sport, right? Yeah. But you can't go strictly by the numbers. There's still the human element to the game that, that Andre, you're not feeling great today. Yeah. You're just not on your best game. You're not, even though you're the best player we've got. You're not. You don't have it today.
Analytics can't tell you
exactly
that you don't have it today. I can only tell you because I'm a human being.
So do you think that Bob Melvin will be more free to do the eye test on a guy, even though it's not the player that the analytics wants in the lineup? Bob Melvin, just like Bruce Bochy, would put people in the lineup based on a gut feeling, right?
Yep.
And are we going back to that? Because that's what I think they're doing.
I think you'll find a happier marriage, right? I think they'll still have the analytics that tell them ABC, but Bo Mel now will say, but I don't know. Verlander just, looks like he's got it today. Give it, whatever the case may be, whatever that may be. It's, I think you'll have a good marriage, a balance, I should say, between the analytics and the gut feel now.
Yeah, Justin Verlander, man, that guy, 42 years old.
Yeah.
Still throwing the heat.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing, But he's still on his
like
game.
2 years older than the president.
Yeah, no, I think it's actually suppose he's 38.
Oh,
Verlander's 42, so we're talking about a 4-year difference.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting to see a guy.
It's wild.
It's good for
general.
Yeah.
How many athletes are playing across the different sports later and later and later in life?
The conditioning and nutrition is better, right?
Yeah, I think that's the understanding the nutrition more and the conditioning more and kind of fine-tuning it in, I think is probably leading to this, because some of these players that are playing, it was unthinkable just 10 years ago, 15 years ago, for these guys to be playing in their 40s, and you see it happening more and more.
And to be playing like really, really well, right?
Not like terrible, not like they're not like old men on the field. They're still doing it pretty well.
I mean, you're not living off of your name. Like you're an actual good player still in your 40s.
How old is LeBron James?
42, 43?
Yeah.
Something like that?
So,
right? And Steph's 37, right?
Yeah.
Verlander's in his 40s. Brady won his Super Bowl in his 40s. Like, this is all, like, this. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe it's recency bias, but I don't feel like
I got to laugh because I remember in the World Series when Justin Verlander was rocked by Pablo, remember?
Yeah.
Right? And he just stood there and went,
yeah.
You can see it, right? Like, and
was
now
that
he's
the game
back.
that the Panda hit 3? Or
yeah.
was that?
Yeah, basically, right?
Yeah.
So, like, at one point, Verlander just had to tip his cap.
Yeah.
Right? So he's been a class act. Now he's with the Giants. Yeah. He was just with the Houston Astros. Yeah. And the Giants just swept the Astros. The Giants have been playing some pretty good baseball.
Yeah.
They haven't had a lot of errors. Have they had one error? I don't think so.
It's exciting, man. It's, this is what Giants fans have been hurting. I mean, we were spoiled, right? We were very spoiled in the 2010s, that stretch there.
Last year was tough. Last year was tough to watch everything happen.
And still, fellas, the Giants are in third place because the
West
Dodgers and the Padres are undefeated so far. So that's undefeated just by one. They're 6-0 instead of being 5-1.
One of my fellow field producers here today is unfortunately a Dodgers fan. I let her know it wasn't welcomed today.
Wow.
She was respectful. She didn't wear her Dodger blue to the park.
Speaking of the park, they've got some pretty interesting things happening here at the park. We talked about the food a little bit earlier. Tomorrow, let me pull up my notes here. Stand by for details.
Is there any, while you pull up your notes, is there anything that you're looking forward to trying?
The garlic fries are always something I gravitate toward too. So I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see.
Jimmy, I got to step off to make a phone call.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead. What is going to happen? I think not this game, but they're going to have La Russell come in and launch that 2025 anthem called "Nothing Like It." He's from Vallejo's local Bay Area rap artist, and so they collaborated with him to make this new anthem for this season.
Speaking of Vallejo, E40 usually rolls in the house.
Yeah, does it?
Yeah, he does.
E40 pops up,
E40 pops up.
Yeah, he's a popular guy.
E40's a big Giants, 49ers, Warriors guy.
Yeah. I see him in games all the time, turning up at games.
And by the way, E40 watches us. So
he does.
E40,
What's up, bro?
E40 knows who you are.
Oh, he does?
Absolutely.
Okay. I know he knows who you are. You've been around for a long time. One of the other things they have here, they're unveiling newly designed suites. They say they'll help sleek new finishes, expanded communal dining areas, and enhanced viewing options. The communal part is something that Larry Beard talked about that they're doing a lot, and you mentioned before for bringing families. People want to, gather in a place, not just sit in their seat by themselves. So communal is one of the key points. that they talked about. They also have renovated the Audi Dugout Clubhouse. It'll have elevated design, custom finishings, and refreshed restrooms in that area. And they also made off-season upgrades to concession stands and restrooms on the promenade level to decrease wait times when you go up.
So
because that's the worst when you go to get your food.
That is huge. That is huge. So I used to sit in lower box section 124, right? And right above it was a restroom for the men. Mm-hmm. There was always a line, right?
Yeah.
So like you had to strategically think, okay, 2 beers, how long is it going to take before I can, you know what I mean? Like,
you're doing the analytics in your head.
Analytics, it's like, okay, and because I knew the line took so long, right? So hopefully, if they figured that out, right, they say
that's what it sounds like.
Out,
yeah,
right?
at least on the promenade level, at least they've been working on that. So maybe they'll test it out and see how it works before trying additional things throughout the rest of the stadium.
I think that for people who are watching who have not come down to a game, the area is rich with culture even before. So let's say that a $20 beer is too much, and I think for some people it is too much. Maybe you want to have a beer or two before. You can go across the street to Momos. You can go up to 21st Amendment. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of places. There's bars on 3rd Street, right?
And more opening in this area.
Right?
More opening in this area. In this
places to
area.
eat. There's delis and taquerias and. So even outside, a lot of people like to bring their food in, whatever. Mm-hmm. So you can bring food in. This place is just like you. I think you said it earlier during our show. It's grown up around the ballpark.
Yeah, well, we've seen buildings come up. I mean, I'm surprised every time I come down here, the new buildings that are going up. And there's a place, a hotel right across the street from here. It's been around for a couple of years now. It's got a nice rooftop area. One day I was hanging out there, and they were doing salsa dancing. It was a group just gathered for salsa dancing.
I got to tell you.
It was awesome.
There's something about a good rooftop bar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was awesome.
It just kind of gives you that.
Be able to, you might even, you can see into the ballpark from there. I bet you that's a popular spot on game days. Yeah.
Exactly, right? So there's, like you said, there's something for everyone. If you want little rooftop adults-only action, if you want families, you can go out to the Cove.
Yes.
Right? If you're just a hardcore guy, you want to sit in your seat the whole time. They have the hot dog vendors coming around, right?
It's perfect.
You don't have to leave.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's good.
They make it super convenient here.
They figured it out for everybody.
It is fantastic. And let everyone know tomorrow, if you're coming out to the park tomorrow, the first 15,000 fans to enter the park will receive a Matt Chapman Gold Glove bobblehead.
I feel as if we haven't talked enough about Matt Chapman.
We have not.
That's a great giveaway. Yeah. I think that interspersed in that giveaway, 1,000 random lucky ones are going to get the gold edition of that. There's going to be a little bit. There's going to be they're going to give out 15,000, but 1,000 of those 15,000 is going to be a special one.
Oh,
and the
really?
boxes are unmarked, right? So you just have to somebody's going to open up. It's like, oh my God, I got the gold one.
Oh, so you can't tell until you open the box?
No.
Oh, wow, no kidding.
Yeah, that's really
that's
cool.
Awesome.
So,
yeah.
and then bobbleheads are people collect them. Mm-hmm. But Matt Chapman, when they signed Matt Chapman for that long-term deal, Andre, that's the first inkling I got. Okay, the Giants are done with trying to piece together a team every single year.
Yeah.
They paid Willie Adames, right? They brought in a guy like Justin Verlander. Yeah. The Giants are going in a different direction than they used to be. Instead of some retread from whatever, they are trying to build a team. No one will ever say they were rebuilding, but I think that they kind of started rebuilding and placing pieces. Yeah. You have Matt Chapman on the corner there. That's a real huge first step. You make a commitment to him. You make a commitment to Adames as your shortstop.
7-year contract for Adames.
Right.
They signed back, when they signed him back in December of last year. Hello, how are you?
Come over here.
You want to? It's on our streaming.
Listen, Giants. The Giants employees are coming
they're
by.
Awesome.
I'd like to say hi. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
So the Giants employees have been coming back by. A lot of them are Channel 2 fans.
Yes. Yeah, they're great.
Hi, Andre. Hi, Sassy. Come on over.
But some of them don't like being in front of the camera, so that's okay. And you were telling me earlier that you have a brick here from when you were a season ticket holder. Tell me about that.
When the Giants gave season ticket packages back in 2000, if you became a season ticket holder, you got to put your name on a brick. Mm-hmm. And they put those bricks out there in front of the stadium. Mm-hmm. And now there's so many of them, they're putting them out there, too.
Yeah.
And I, me and my buddies went in on a season tickets, and we put our names there.
Yeah.
And they're still there.
They're still there. It's pretty cool. Well, now, today they're launching, again, fans can cement their legacy, they say, in Giants history with Giants Anniversary Bricks, the new program they're launching. They can engrave a special message on the brick along the Scenic Bay Trail in China Basin. So, the area where your brick is full, so they're extending it a little bit further out now. Right. But, at least it'll be here. And, you can show it to your kids, and you're kind of part of this whole thing, for years to come.
It's 25 years is a long time, right? Mm-hmm. So I was 25 years ago, I was significantly younger, and some of the people who were, some of the older people who were season ticket holders have now no longer with us, but their bricks are here.
Yeah.
So their families gets to come see the brick.
That's really cool.
So
that's
baseball
really cool
transitions, right? And it is cool because things change. Sometimes people move away, but a lot of things stay the same. If I go down to my season ticket area, I guarantee you I'll see at least one or two people that I've seen for 25 years.
Well, when we were at the last game at the Oakland Coliseum, remember that for the Oakland A's when they were there, and we went to one of the sections there, and even some of our former employees were season ticket holders there, and we were hanging out with the people they've been hanging out with at the stadium for 20, 30 years in that same area because they were season ticket holders for so long, which, it's something I didn't grow up, we couldn't afford to do that when I was younger, so, I didn't get a chance to live that life. We weren't able to afford to go to the games, but it was just interesting learning about forming these friendships over the years that you have just because you were a season ticket holder here and you've kept it up for so many years. The same people you're sitting next to, that's how you met, became friends,
right.
and launched friendships that way.
Right.
And I found that to be completely one of the best things.
I feel as if
family.
you and I might have an unfair advantage because of what we do.
Yeah.
People will say, "Hi, Andre."
Yeah.
But for the ordinary fan who doesn't work on television, that's the feeling they get.
That's what I'm saying. And when I was walking by it was the last game, and people were like saying, goodbye to each other because they've been sitting next to each other for every baseball game, for decades even. So that was kind of sad to see for sure, because that is how you come sit down, imagine one of these seats and people all around you all know you guys. That I think is fantastic and very interesting. I want to let you know that you're basically getting to see behind the scenes. Yeah.
So our crew had this elaborate setup.
Yeah.
Here they had
cameras,
a scrim,
lights,
that big scrim that was blocking the sun, right?
Yeah.
So it was a crew of about 12 people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
you don't ever see that, but behind the scenes of all our broadcasts, there are people in the control room, directors, producers, writers.
The reason they have to break it down is because they're going to open the ballpark at 10:30. That means we're going to have to get out of there, but Steve Paulson and Bailey O'Carroll,
they're going to have more coverage after this.
Right, they're going to be in a spot. They're going to be in a spot where they're not going to be disrupting the flow. Yeah. Right here is the main promenade. So
I want to give Ryan Cecile a big shout out. I mean,
Ryan Cecile.
Robert Eddie.
This is the guy. This is the guy. This is one of the guys who puts it all together. So you feel better now that we're done?
Yeah.
I'll feel better when I'm at home and on vacation next week.
But I do. Oh, okay. I did want to thank you though personally because I saw you hustling over here, man. For sure. Yeah.
The crew really did a great job.
They really do. Yeah.
Chip and Robert too.
Yeah. I mean, if I could show you, this is just part of the get up back here.
Well, I mean, to the cheek. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Slave High, Chip. Robert,
They even tell you, hey, Sal, your shirt's unbuttoned.
Yeah,
they wipe this off.
So they do a lot more than,
we really appreciate those guys for helping us out.
We can't do it without them, so I wanted to make sure we gave them a shout out.
It's amazing, though, as we get into our final minutes before we toss it to Bailey and Steve. We've been here since, 6, 7 in the morning. This place has been nonstop with action.
We've watched it come alive. I thought that was the coolest thing about sitting in the ballpark at this time. We've watched people slowly come in. The workers. We came into the employee entrance and just watched the whole place come alive. The shutters go up to the concession areas. People start to flood in. They start to prepare the food, and I don't think I've ever seen it quite like this before. Watch all the workers come in and start the work to get this place prepared. They were power washing in front of where we are right now.
Right.
Before we went live on the air today.
Right.
There's a lot of work that goes into
I watched them clean every seat.
Yeah, and some of the folks that work here have been here for a long time too. Some of the workers that you don't see behind the scenes that keep this place running. The groundskeepers that change up the field.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't even notice that they have. If you sit in the bleachers,
yeah,
they've upgraded those bleacher seats.
These are new.
When did that happen?
Yeah. So
wow.
Pretty cool.
They do something every year.
Every year. That's what Larry said. They do something every year to keep it interesting. This is a communal space back here, I think, for many of the fans to come and hang out. Ghirardelli's right behind us. I watched that place come alive today. It's going to be a nice place to get a sugar rush and some baseball in. Hot dogs, garlic fries.
Bring your sunscreen if you're coming. Bring
sunscreen.
your sunscreen.
Bring a jacket just in case, because it did get chilly. The weather's been changing. Even we haven't left the spot in 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours, and the weather's changed quite a bit just in this one spot. So definitely bring something around here, something with you, so that you can stay warm if need be. So I think we can toss things over to Steve and Bailey. They're in another part of the park, and they'll be continuing our coverage. Actually, let's toss the interview with Larry Baer that we did just a short time ago. Let's listen in on that and some of the things that he told us about the new season and the new park.
Now it's time to bring in Giants CEO. And you've had a lot of titles, but now you're the CEO, Larry Baer. Larry, this is an opening day tradition for you to join us. Thanks for joining us on Mornings on 2. I know this is perhaps your favorite day of the year.
I was just going to make that bold proclamation, Sal. It's the favorite day of the year. Yeah. And I think I'm not alone in that. A lot of people tend to be a lot of doctor's appointments and people getting out of work and jumping school.
Yeah.
And it's great. It feels like kind of a civic holiday, a civic day where we all come together. And, last several years, it's been people, were pulled apart with the pandemic. Now I think people really feel they want to be together. They need to be together in this, in a great community feeling, being in a ballpark with 40,000 people rooting for your home team.
Exactly.
And Larry, over the last few months in the offseason, you made some upgrades, offseason upgrades to concessions, some of the suites. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've been doing to make people feel comfortable here.
I think every year folks come back and they want to find new things, new experiences, whether it's new food or new group areas. We're really kind of indexing hard on the social areas. Mm-hmm. We find that, kind of what I was saying before, people want to be together. So now we have more group areas as you walk around. We encourage people in our ballpark, not all ballparks are like this, you can do a lap, you can do a walk. And on a beautiful day like today, you take a walk, look at the water, you can go out and find some new food choices. We have Ra-Ra Ramen is in, and David Chang has the Fuku sandwiches, which are fantastic, which have been changed and upgraded, and all sorts of new things to go with the staples, like the crab sandwiches and the garlic fries. And one of the things about it is 2.5 hours, you can't forget everything else that's going on in the world. 3 hours. Although games are 2.5 now, and I think that's probably never been more valued than now, being able to just enjoy friends and family for a period of time.
Well, Larry, you've been with the Giants for a long time. Out at Candlestick Park, it was a different experience. It was a good one. I remember you out there. When you came over here, obviously it became more of a fan experience. How do you keep reinventing it? Other than the team, because the team you put on the field is also important.
Well, the team is critically important, obviously. We can talk about that. We feel really good about the team. We feel really good about Buster Posey taking over. But, the way we look at it is that it's a city center, and it's a civic center, and not everybody walks down the street memorizing batting averages. But everybody likes a good, clean stadium, wants to be with family, friends, colleagues for a nice 3 hours out in the sun. Or in a beautiful night, so everybody can enjoy that experience. And what we find is when you sample that, you can become a baseball fan too. Yeah. You'll see some folks from year 2000 here because we're celebrating 25 years in this ballpark. And I got letters all the time through the years that, I didn't really know that much about baseball, but then I fell in love with J.T. Snow or Barry Bonds or Jeff Kent or Dusty Baker. And wow, it's, and the thing about baseball, also it's every day.
Yeah.
And so it's this repeatable experience, and these people come into your lives, and Kruk and Kipe and John Miller and Dave Fleming come into your lives, Erwin Higueros and Tito Fuentes on Spanish radio. And it's just so it becomes a part of the community experience. We're also very blessed. This area of San Francisco has grown dramatically in the 25 years.
It's around the park.
It is beautiful. I mean, I see all these new buildings coming up. Since I've been, I haven't even been here as long as Sal has, and I've watched this area grown right around this park. And just walking over here, I parked a couple of blocks away. Walking down here, it just felt really nice. What's it like to see that from 25 years ago to now?
It means a lot because we're not going anywhere. We're the San Francisco Giants. We're going to be here for
a good to hear.
75-year lease, and beyond. And so we want to protect the front door and the back door of the park. And so there's buildings here that you can see now that have emerged where people are living and working, and all sorts of new food and beverage. There's a great public park. We encourage people to enjoy pre and post game China Basin Park, which is just across McCovey Cove. Just across the 3rd Street Bridge, right by the Willie McCovey statue. And there's a beach on the water, and there's sand. And you can just come in and play with kids, or just have an experience, pre and post, bring a sandwich and enjoy.
I want to ask you a little bit about the team, because Justin Verlander, I think, was a big get, just to put butts in the seats, so to speak, but also Buster Posey. He knows how to win. And I think no disregard to the people who were there before him, but it seems as if there's been a change in the ship, the way it's being run. I think the guys have bought in.
Buster is, I have to say, just one of the most unique talents I think anybody's seen, in not just as a player, Hall of Fame player, but now working with him. He understands culture. He understands analytics. He understands all the pieces. Culture's so important. Buster had a uniform on 4 years ago here. In 2021, he had an incredible year, and that was his last year as a player. He retired, and he's now brought a culture, a vibe, a feel to the clubhouse, to the whole organization that is really, it's palpable. People feel it. And I think the players have responded to it. The coaching staff has responded to it. We had an incredibly good spring training. Not just in wins and losses. We won a lot of games, and that carries over. So we feel great about it. Today you'll see Justin Verlander. He's a Hall of Famer. What's really amazing, step back, Buster just turned 38. JV, Justin Verlander, is 42.
Wow.
So he signed a player 4 years older than him, who he faced in the 2012 World Series and at other times as well. And so there, he speaks the language of the players and understands, has the EQ that is so important in any leadership.
They bought in.
And I wanted to ask you too, because I was there for the retirement announcement for Buster Posey here at Oracle Park when it happened, and then it was a stunner when I read that he was coming back to the team. He was moving back to Atlanta, where he's from, and just to see him come back because it was emotional for a lot of people who were there for the retirement. What was the inner workings behind that? Were you pursuing him, or how did that work out?
I mean, the inner workings were really Buster upon retirement and going back to Georgia for a year. The Giants are the only team he ever played for, right? The only professional team he only played for, the only organization he's ever been with. And Buster and Krista and the family decided that, you know what, they really did miss this area, and they really wanted to re-engage with the Giants. And Buster came on our board, and for a couple of years served on our board with the 5 other board members, Gray Johnson, myself, and others, and just got to continue to learn about the business part of it as well. And it just kind of became obvious that he'd be the perfect person to run the baseball operations. And as we say, if Buster wants the ball, you give him the ball.
I was going to say, Larry, thank you
so much
being part of our tradition. I think that you have been part of the Channel 2 opening day tradition. You're always so friendly to give us your time, and I feel the same way. This is a great day in San Francisco.
Thanks, Sal.
Looking forward to the season too.
It's been it's great, and thank you guys for this tradition. You're going another hour and 45 minutes here.
Yes,
we
sir.
do. Oh, we got some time.
Yes, sir.
I hope they let you stay for the game.
Yes. I think I have my seat all picked out.
Larry, thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, well, welcome back to Take Two after that phenomenal interview with Larry Baer. I'm Bailey O'Carroll, Steve Paulson here. Steve, I told you earlier, baseball was made for this weather.
We were just talking that may not be this nice in June or July, right?
No, it won't be.
I mean, skies are clear. There's a little breeze, but no big deal. You've been here how many times? If you're in the sun, it can get darn warm, right?
It can, yeah.
If you're in the shade, you're like, oh my gosh, it's cool, but I would just wear layers. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a perfect day.
I mean, I live in the city, and it hasn't been this nice, since we had that heat wave a couple weeks ago, but, it's okay.
But 66, 65 degrees, ideal, right? Plus the pitching matchup.
Oh, my God. We were talking about that earlier?
And Verlander, come on. I mean, even in the dog days of August, this would be a must-see game.
Yeah.
So, not only you've been here, so you must have some food favorites, I'm thinking there.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you haven't been watching all morning, and you've probably seen me eat like 40 times already.
How many?
Probably close to 40.
25,
I don't know.
okay,
yeah, 25, yeah. I got to try all the new food that they're going to have out here at the ballpark this year. Top 2 were s'mores pretzel.
Oh, nice.
That was really good, and the loaded baked potato.
So on the loaded baked potato, what do you get? Tell me everything under sour cream, chives, bacon bits.
I'm not a sour cream person.
Okay.
But the rest of it, I'll do anything. But this one in particular was like I like to call it like a backyard barbecue kind of take on a loaded baked potato. So you got the baked potato, then it had mac and cheese.
On the baked potato?
Yes. And it had...
No carbs there.
I know. If I had much more of it, I would have had to go to the hospital probably, but it's okay.
But seriously, if you get this baked potato, how much of that do you eat and take home? Or you can't eat the
I
whole
only
thing.
ate a few bites
That's
of
what I
it.
was
Yeah,
gonna
that was
say.
everything that you saw. Let me just preface this by saying I only ate a few bites of it, and I was still stuffed all
Ate
day.
the bite and then spit it out.
Exactly.
She didn't do
No,
that.
it was too good. It was too good.
But there's also something behind this I think
Yes.
you like as well.
I pointed out on that video, I judged everything up against the garlic fries, which I give a 10 out of 10. As long as you get a good batch of garlic fries. People roasted me online. They're like, the garlic fries aren't that good. Depends on the day. Depends on the chef.
How they come out fast, if they're hot, right?
Yes.
Makes a huge difference.
And if you're here on a day like today, they're great.
They're going to be great.
If it's like kind of rainy and 50, not as great.
But on the other side, there's chicken what?
Chicken fingers. Those are, they call them chicken tenders. I call them, they're fingers to me. Those are also a peak ballpark food, in my opinion. It's the safest bet. You can get them anywhere. They taste the same anywhere.
Anything else food-wise? Anything else caught your eye? I got to try that next time?
Mainly the s'mores pretzel. I'll tell you what not to try. What I didn't like when I tried all the food.
Go for it.
The kimchi quesadilla.
Oh, gosh, no.
Yeah, kimchi was not my thing.
No,
I didn't like
it.
Yeah, it was too fancy.
Because I was just down in L.A. and we were talking about the Staples Center. And if they bring you a menu, and you can get sushi at the Staples Center.
Are you serious?
I'm darn serious. And I'm like, interesting. I thought about it for a second, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, it's like the vibe is off. Sushi doesn't match.
Hey, you can do a California roll at the game. No, but they do offer that there at Staples. So I'm sure the kimchi might be a big seller. You never know.
I guess you never know. But they just opened up. We see fans here. I don't know if we can pan over. Alan, can we pan the camera over a little bit? These are the first fans. Me and Steve has been here longer than I have this morning. I got here about 7 o'clock. There's fans here, finally. These fans are so excited. We want to talk about, really quick, before we get out to Jesse Gary, just the change in atmosphere around not just the clubhouse, but the fan base.
Well, Buster Posey, come on.
It's the Buster effect.
He's got that it factor.
He does.
And I think he's going to put him. I mean, look, they started great in spring training. Sometimes that doesn't mean anything. Right. But now here they are 5-1. Unfortunately, they have who in front of them?
Yeah, Dodgers and then my hometown Padres.
I mean, yeah. So it's a tough division, but 5-1 is a great road trip.
Yeah, and you can tell, right? Like I was down at spring training, the vibe in the clubhouse completely different, completely changed. But also, as I mentioned, the vibe here among the fans. Everybody's always excited for the home opener. What's not, you get the whole season in front of you.
Plus, this is one of those days where you can do the Giants game afterwards, walk over to Chase. Because
the Warriors have a big game.
Denver tonight. I mean, after that big victory in L.A. last night. Yeah. So I know friends of mine who will do that probably. Go to the Giants home opener, then go see the Warriors.
I almost did it. I almost decided to do it, but it's okay. We'll save that for later. Jesse, I think, is out at Momos. Jesse Gary is. Jesse, James was out there earlier today. He told us it was already a party. People pre-gaming 9 o'clock on a Friday morning. The sun's out. You're in San Francisco. What's not to celebrate?
Exactly, and you know what? It's 5 o'clock somewhere because people are not only celebrating but eating food, drinking, and having beer and pizza, etc. So Momo is the spot and has been for decades now. This is the 25th year of used to be called AT&T Park, and then it was Pac-Bell Park before that. Now it's Oracle Park here in San Francisco, and so this is the spot you come to before going to a Giants game, right across the street from the stadium. I just want to introduce you to a couple of new friends. This is Paul and Michelle, wife Michelle, and You said you moved to the city just 5 years ago, but you come to opening day every year at Momos.
So yes, since we've moved here, yes.
Why? What is it about the vibe?
The vibe is, it's the city. And look how exciting this is. And it's our family tradition. My grandfather was a Giants fan when it was New York. My dad was a huge Giants fan. He's here today. He passed away last month. So we brought him here today with me. He's here with me today. So
his ashes are in there.
My ashes, his ashes, my ashes.
Of course.
So, and my family, this is my family, my son, and his friends. So it's a family tradition. So, yeah.
So, if it's a family tradition, explain the marriage to. Well, we're not going to talk about your former life. We're not going to say something. We're not going to say anything about your former life. But how did that happen?
Oh, that he's a Dodger.
Whoa.
The SoCal connection.
Yes, the SoCal connection. Yes. How did you wind up?
SoCal too originally. I was born in SoCal too.
Yeah, but you're a Giants fan.
I am a Giants fan.
But okay, so how did you?
I met Paul here.
At the game.
Well, no, we met here in the Bay Area.
Okay.
So, and he's a Giants fan as well, but there is that SoCal connection, and that we do not speak of. Yeah.
And so do you forgive him of that? Does he have to do penance? How does that work?
There's a penance. Yeah, the penance.
No penance.
No, we won't talk about that either, apparently.
We won't talk about that. Yeah.
Okay. Paul, what are you looking forward to this season?
Every game I can possibly go to. We're season ticket holders at 415. It's an awesome place to watch the game. We're here every game we can, every home game.
Is there a different vibe between the home opener and any other game?
There's always a vibe.
It's more exciting today. We've met more people here today we've never seen before in our lives, and they're willing to share space with us, and they're wonderful. We see that a lot, but mostly on opening day, it's incredible.
Thank you so much. What are we having? You said you're having a
espresso
coffee.
Martini.
Espresso martini.
Because it's morning and it's coffee.
Because it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I got you.
5 o'clock somewhere.
And what are you having?
Same thing.
All right, too.
Go Giants.
All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Go Giants.
There you go. Thank you very much, guys. So that is just a taste of what's going on here. Espresso martini. I can't drink on air, but if I could. So that's just a taste of what's going on out here. And of course, first pitch is at 1:35. Verlander is on the hill for the home team. Had a pretty good start on the 29th against the Reds. 6 innings, left with a no decision. So hopefully we can put another 6 on the board. Giants offense kicks in just a little bit because Seattle can't hit whatsoever. They can't hit the Bay if they fell off the dock in the back. So hopefully the Giants have just enough offense to get them a W today. Guys, back inside to you.
Jesse, thank you so much. Sounds like a party out there. I know we talked about it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but it's always 5 o'clock somewhere, right? It's anytime the sun's out in San Francisco, I say that there's really no rules in the city. People just kind of do whatever they want because you got to take advantage of these days when the weather is just so nice. And that is what we have today. I was expecting it to be freezing. I was out here last opening day. I literally brought my winter parka. This year, I packed one. I had a whole bag. I have like a blanket scarf in there, gloves, brought a parka jacket. You can see this massive pile of black clothing. That is all my winter layers. Thinking I was going to be freezing. That's not the case. I put on my lighter jacket, and I don't even need that. There's a light breeze, but it actually feels good because it's so warm out here and it's so early. So we know first pitch, Jesse just mentioned, it is at 1:35. I can tell you they did just open the gates. We've seen the first few fans come through here. We are surrounded by food right now. I'm a little hungry, so it's tough because I'm surrounded by all of my favorite ballpark food, as I just mentioned with Steve. You've got the garlic fries, you've got the chicken tenders, but I'm going to stay strong for the next handful of, I haven't looked at my clock, the next handful of minutes that I'm with you guys. I think everybody has seen me eat on camera enough for the day. I think we're good with that. I mentioned with Steve, we got to try all the new food out at the ballpark here this year. A couple of things that I forgot to mention, the elote hot dog. That was great. I would definitely recommend that alongside the Paradise dog. A good day also to just have a beer at the ballpark. I mean, this is what baseball was invented for. This stadium in particular on days like today, I don't think you'd find a better ballpark anywhere else in the country. So the Giants, they have the Mariners today. We've got a great pitching matchup, as we have mentioned multiple times. This is the first time Justin Verlander pitches as a Giant in Oracle Park. That is going to be a big one. I know I talked to Logan Webb's grandmas. Logan obviously not pitching today. They typically only come when Logan is the starting pitcher. They told me they couldn't miss today. They're really excited to see Justin Verlander out here in a Giants uniform, of course. So all sorts of excitement surrounding this season. We know that the Giants are off to a red-hot start. They're 5-1. Unfortunately, they're in a great division. You've got the Dodgers, you've got the Padres, you've got the Braves, who are just kind of dashing those early season hopes for the Giants. But that's okay. Baseball, especially, you've got an extra long season ahead of you. So I don't like to talk about it too much because I don't want to jinx any team. I grew up in San Diego. I grew up a Padres fan. Basically, my entire childhood was filled with horrible Padres baseball. So I don't like to jinx anything, especially early on in the season. We know that the Giants also had a spectacular showing in spring training, so much so that it led Larry Baer at Giants Media Day to say if the Giants reciprocate their home record at spring training here at Oracle Park, he will jump into McCovey Cove. That means that they have to have a record of 80-1 at home. The likelihood of that, relatively small. But no doubt, he said it on camera. So us here, along with every other media member of the Giants organization, probably going to hold Larry to that if they get close to 80-1 at least. But again, that is very hard to do. Baseball, you've got a very long season, but a very exciting season. And for that, to talk about that, I want to bring in toss to James Torres, who caught up with a couple of Giants executives to talk about all the exciting things they have going on and off the field this year.
Talking to me more about the game day experience, how much fun we can have later today. Rachel High, you're the Chief Marketing Officer with the San Francisco Giants. Thanks for talking with us this morning.
Of course.
Tell us all about what's going to happen today besides baseball.
Well, today we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of Oracle Park. The entire game day experience will be centered around 25 amazing years here, celebrating, of course, the 2025 Giants, but also looking back at the best baseball moments over the last quarter century. We'll have, I think, 10 members of the 2000 team present here today. It'll just be a really great celebration.
I said earlier this morning that Oracle Park will look just a tiny bit different. It'll look a little cleaner. It'll look a little updated. What kind of renovations should we be able to notice that maybe we didn't see in the last 2-3 years?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a very, very busy off season. The entire field club level has been renovated. 3 new bars, carpet, fresh paint. We have some great new food and beverage offerings on the promenade level. Our Coca-Cola sign has been fully renovated. You know, that's probably one of the most recognizable elements of Oracle Park's architecture. And then, of course, you know, we started investing in our lights and sound system starting 2 years ago. And we have a new canopy light installation that will really add to the game day experience.
Let's talk a little bit more about that food. Oracle Park has this reputation for having some of the best ballpark food, probably the best sports arena food in the country. Have you had a chance to try some of it yourself, and what's maybe the top 2 that you think everyone should consider?
Sure. I mean, of course, Oracle Park has always been known for its crab sandwich and its garlic fries. But new this year, 2 of my favorites, which might be really helpful right now. One is the new Raw Ramen. So we have both a shoyu and a miso ramen, great for those cold San Francisco evenings.
Very San Francisco.
Yes. Yeah. And then we also have a new s'mores pretzel. It's a Bavarian pretzel with chocolate sauce, chocolate chips, you know, marshmallows, a graham cracker crumble. So perfect, you know, dessert snack to get you through the ninth inning.
Get your savory, then get your sweet.
Exactly.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about Oracle Park by the numbers, because we know they are celebrating its 25th anniversary being in Oracle Park here. A couple other numbers you want to know. 2025 marks the 142nd season of the Giants. Since then, since the year 2000, I should say, the park has served 3.7 million crab sandwiches and more than 36 million beers. Food is always going to be the conversation at Oracle Park, and to join that conversation is Shana Don. Thank you so much for talking with us about it. We got a lot of new food that we're going to talk about and see this year. What should we know?
It's nothing new. For 25 years at this ballpark, 26 seasons, we always have new food. That's what we're known for, right? Since we moved here in 2000 and built this park, it reflects really the culture and the community of San Francisco and the Bay Area. So let's look at some of our new food items.
Let's get some mouths watering here. Now, I love doing dessert before breakfast or before dinner or before lunch. I like the savory stuff, or rather the sweet stuff first.
With our Bavarian.
Yeah, we are.
The s'mores.
This thing is beautiful. Tell me all about it.
We don't have the barbecue. You know, we're not around the fire pit, but we still get the s'mores here with the chocolate and the marshmallows and the graham cracker and of course the orange sprinkles. That is my favorite. I had it at Media Open House last week. That is a hit. You have to go out to the garden to get these two, and then we have the savory ranch, buffalo ranch pretzel. You've got bacon, you've got cheese, you've got green onions. Perfect combination.
Love it. And then let's talk about this baked potato here. This is actually not my personal favorite, but a personal favorite of a lot of people in the newsroom. They've talked a lot about this one.
Loaded.
What's so special?
That is the loaded baked potato. It is the mac and cheese with the extra lean brisket that is in there. Super. Very good. Another.
And of course, last thing I want to touch on here. We can't go to a ballpark without a hot dog. Now this, obviously a very much different take. What are we looking at?
An elevated hot dog, a different take on the hot dog. It's the elote dog, and it's got street corn in there and some other spices. It's going to be a hit.
Okay, it's Oracle Park, guys. You know, whatever you're going to order,
but then
you're going to love.
We still just have a good old ballpark dog, a Giants dog. You can still
Classic
get your
dog.
Giants dog, and we have ramen this year.
Beautiful.
We have ramen at the Raw Ramen stand. You've got. You have the
it's tofu on the second one.
Yeah, and the shoyu and the miso. So you've got a tofu one, and you have one with meat.
Something for everyone, no doubt about it.
There is something here for everyone. And don't worry, Crazy Crab Sandwich is still here. Like I said, the garlic fries, those are all here.
Can I ask you just one thing, and we'll wrap this up really quick? Tell me, what's the one thing you're excited about for opening day, specifically today?
Is being able to celebrate the history of this ballpark. We're going to have members of the 2000 team here, so really excited to celebrate our past, but then meet our new team and look forward to the future of 26 season, 25 years here at Oracle Park.
All right, well, we're back out here at Oracle Park now. Thank you so much for that, James. I'm joined by a lifelong Giants fan, also lifelong Packers fan,
right.
So we have that in common. Me and Roger just discovered that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Giants while we're out here, although I'd love to talk about Packers football. Right. But we got to talk about the task at hand, which is this Giants game. You drove up here from San Jose to be here today. Not the first time you've done that. No. You were a longtime season ticket holder. What do you come to every opening day home opener?
We have been to almost all opening days since 2002. Wow. But we had season tickets at Candlestick. So we went to a few opening days at Candlestick. So yeah, opening day is the day to be here. Yeah.
We mentioned, you know, this. You had some trouble giving away your season tickets there at the end of that run. Do you notice a shift now for this team and the fans, and are people excited?
Oh, I think so. I think Buster coming back in has brought the Giants feel back. I think there's a baseball feel again. It had become something that we Giants fans didn't, that was not us. And I think it's back to that, the signings they've made. Oh yeah, I think there's a big buzz today that there wasn't for the last 4 or 5 years.
You mentioned you were at a lot of those World Series games,
yes.
2014, 2012. I was talking to Sal Castaneda about this morning. Sal told me, he goes, I was worried when Buster came in, because what if he didn't do what we expected him to do? Like, what would that do to his legacy with this organization? Did you have that same fear as a Giants fan?
No, because Buster Posey is a smart guy. And so I could not imagine that Buster Posey was going to fail. And he has Giants in his blood. So, yeah, I never feared that. And to this point, he has brought us what we wanted, was a baseball team back.
He brought Verlander.
Yep.
He brought Willie Adames, two guys who are known for obviously being great baseball players, but also being great people off the field, which is what this organization has sort of prided itself on for a number of years, obviously.
Right.
When they bring in Verlander and they bring in Adames, what was your reaction?
Well, I remember Verlander not pitching so well here back years ago for the World Series. But no, I mean, that was a great signing. And, yeah, no, there's always been a family atmosphere, I think, for the Giants, and that's what I feel again. And who knows, maybe if they continue to do well, I'll become a season ticket holder again. But the prices are a little higher than they were when I signed up in 2002.
Yeah.
But no, there's a definite family feel.
I have to ask you, we're at the ballpark. Do you have a food that you get every year on the home opening day?
That's a funny question because my son always gets the crab sandwich. Okay, I'm just like pizza.
Okay.
That's about what I get. I love the slice of pizza. I may go for the crab sandwich, who knows? But I'll probably get a pizza.
I have a recommendation for you. I've made it so many times already this morning. I got to try all the new food that they're going to have out at the ballpark. They have a loaded baked potato. It kind of has Wisconsin all over it. It's got mac and cheese on it. Brisket. It's phenomenal. It was like the best thing I tried all day.
Now we're up in the I always still call it the AAA club, but whatever it is.
415 area.
The club area,
up there.
Is it Virgin America? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I'm anxious to see if they have any new food up there.
Yeah.
So I'll try that.
Yeah. It was worth the money. I said I would get it twice. I'd pay for it 2 times over. So the full endorsement.
There you go.
Well, Roger, thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you.
Hey,
go Giants, go Packers.
Giants. Go Packers.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
It's not every day you find a Packers fan in the Bay Area. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching Take Two this morning. This game, first pitch is at 1:35. We'll catch you next time.